He's got the longest route to get back here. Okay?
Yes. Water went down the wrong too.
That's okay. That's why I have this future attention.
It's a bad idea.
That was a
I thought you were helping, not a good idea.
Chickens and cheese. I would like to call this meeting, City Commission meeting, to order tonight, May 19th, 2019.
May 9th.
It is about 6:45, 6:43. Pastor Tim Spivey is going to give the invocation, and then we will have the Pledge of Allegiance. If we'll all stand, please. We can. Please, the microphone.
Let's pray. Father Almighty, we come before you tonight as awesome and as great as you are, as powerful. And Lord, we come to you realizing how far above us that you are. God, thank you for your mercy and your grace, your forgiveness. Lord, for your love, for your compassion, and Lord, for your long-suffering and patience with us. God, we come to you tonight because you are the great I am and the giver of every good and perfect gift. Lord, at this time, I lift up our leaders to you and ask that you lend your guidance and wisdom and knowledge to them. Grant that to them, Lord, that they may lead us in the best way possible. Lord, for our earthly protectors, our police, and our fire force, we're so thankful, Lord, for all that they do for us. Lord, for our leaders, our teachers, and school officials that watch over and guide the minds of our youth. God, we know that they are blessings to us. God, for our military that protects us across the sea and here at home, we're so thankful. God, those who are willing to put their life on the line to protect us and protect our freedom. God, for members of our community, we ask that you influence us to be more caring and compassionate to those in need. Lord, to be more peaceful and patient with those with whom we may disagree. And Lord, that we all may be more like your Son who set the example for us. Help us to put our faith in you and know that you will provide what we need, Lord. And Lord, that you'll always give us more than we deserve. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Spivey. We have a couple of additions. Oh, please.
Mayor Jones.
Here.
Vice Mayor Williams.
Here.
Commissioner James.
Here.
Commissioner James.
Here.
Commissioner Lavin.
Here.
Thank you, Jenny. And we need the approval of the minutes for April 11th.
You said you had a couple additions. You have additions?
Approval of agenda, yes. I do. Item number 5 under new business. We need to discuss the architect invoice for the restrooms at the Civic Center. And then I have a presentation that I need to make after the presentation from Church of God by Faith. Or actually, I guess after the Teachers Appreciation Week. We'll do that after Teachers Appreciation.
I will make a motion. We approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes 5-0. Our first item is a presentation of appreciation letter by Church of God by Faith.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's a pleasure to be standing here and that we give honor to all of those that are here, Commissioner, City Manager, City Attorney. My name is Pastor Derek Gainey. I represent the Church of God by Faith, located at 25353 West US Highway 27 here in High Springs. And I wanted to just take the time to come and commend the City of High Springs Police Department for their services that was rendered during our community farm share event at the Civic Center back in March. It was a great success, and it would not have been such a great success had it not been for the police department. Also, we also had some consult with Commissioner Williams, Vice Mayor Williams. I greatly appreciate the city, and I would like to read this certificate, Ian, if I may.
Sure.
Okay. Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is awarded to the City of High Springs Police Department for partnering with High Springs Church of God by Faith. In recognition of your valuable service during the Farm Share Community event on Saturday, March 16th, 2019, we acknowledge your timely setup and professionalism in handling the flow of traffic as we distributed food to the citizens of High Springs and surrounding areas. Presented this 9th day of May 2019, signed by myself and the Outreach Coordinator, Minister Maxine Rushing. And one addition, a word of thanks I would like to offer, and this is from a member of the church, a family of the church, has been in this community for quite a long time, and I thought this was quite fitting also. It just adds to the professionalism and the level of service that the High Springs Police Department continues to offer over and over. And I wanted to read this, if I may. I would like to thank the City of High Springs for the wonderful service rendered during the funeral services of our parents, Mr. Crawford Freeney and Miss Vivian Freeney. The safety of our family and friends during these times was ensured because of the High Springs Police Department. On behalf of the entire Freeney family, thank you and God bless you. Just a closing words, I cannot express how valuable the High Springs, City of High Springs is to us. Where our church is situated, it's on a main thoroughfare on 27 where a lot of truck traffic, and we've had some close calls from some of the members coming out of there several times because the vehicles don't slow down. And I'm just very thankful. I'm a new pastor here in High Springs, glad to be here. And High Springs is a very unique city, but it's small hometown, and kind of get that hometown feel. And so far we've been warmed up by a lot of folks already here in the community I've seen at different events. And we're glad to be here, and thank you for this time.
Well, thank you, and welcome to High Springs. Did you want to give that to
Yes.
Chief DeCourcy?
Yes.
Next, we have a proclamation. Let me explain something. If my speech seems a bit impaired tonight, it's because I'm having some dental work and I have clients in my mouth, so that's what the problem is. So just bear with me. Next, we have a proclamation declaring May 6th through 10th, 2019 as Teacher Appreciation Week. Jenny, was that for me? Oh, you're right. Okay.
It sounds like you're dying to read this tonight, but I'll go ahead and do it. Proclamation, State of Florida, City of High Springs. Whereas teachers are real-life superheroes who educate, innovate, encourage, and support our children, and whereas teachers touch the lives of our children and their impact extends far beyond the boundaries of the classrooms, and whereas teachers mold future citizens through guidance and education, and whereas teachers encounter students of widely differing backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lessons, evaluating progress, counseling and coaching students, and performing community service, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community, now therefore, I, Linda Jones, Mayor of the City of High Springs, do hereby proclaim May 6 through 10, 2019 to be Teacher Appreciation Week in High Springs, and encourage all citizens to express their appreciation to our teachers for their dedication and devotion to their work and our children. Signed and sealed this 9th day of May 2019 AD by the Mayor Linda Jones and attested to by the City Clerk Jenny L. Parham.
Do we have a teacher in the audience?
We actually do have a
Yeah.
teacher who's also a mayor.
That's right, Jordan. I'm sorry.
Yes.
As soon as we get this signed.
Got one, two over there. Jessica and Miss Farina.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We'll get them a copy too, as soon as Ms. Parham signs it and seals it. But we do value our teachers very much. My husband was a teacher for over 30 years, so I can speak to some truth to that.
We got another substitute teacher back there in the back, Mr. Derrick.
Oh, okay. Well, we got them, don't we?
Oh, yes.
And you got one sitting up here too, thank you.
Are you a teacher? Oh, what? Are you a teacher?
You're
Administrator.
They ran him out the classroom.
Yeah,
I know, but you're an administrator.
I am now.
They ran him out the classroom.
There's no
What?
They ran him out the classroom.
It's a fine line.
Try to keep that quiet.
Anyway, we do value our teachers and appreciate them very much. The next item I will be presenting
This is a certificate to the world's best city clerk, Jenny Parham, dedicated service to the city of High Springs.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And the one underneath is for Angela. She's not here.
Okay, I will make sure that that's.
We could not survive without you and Angela and Great Lynn. We depend upon you so much. I know Mr. Booth couldn't speak more highly of that.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
But thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Oh, we didn't do the minutes.
That's right.
Keep us in line, Jenny.
She does. See, that's what she
We
does.
did that on purpose just so you could do it,
Thank you.
Test.
just to show you how good you are.
Right. I thought we did approve the minutes, but
No, we
that
didn't. We
was the
skipped
other
it.
one.
We
the
skipped it.
DRA.
We did. Yeah.
Okay, we need to approve the minutes for April 11th, 2019.
Well, I'll make a motion that the minutes from April 11, 2019 be approved as printed.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of April 19th, 2019. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes 5-0. Now, maybe I can get the rest right here. Citizens' requests and comments for issues not on the agenda. Please state your name for the record and limit comments to 5 minutes.
David Lynch, L-I-N-C-H. I
Mr.
think
Lynch.
everyone knows that alcohol abuse is a serious problem in this country and probably throughout the world. And I submitted information in the last meeting showing that the United States Department of Health and Human Services estimates that 88,000 people die each year from alcohol abuse. So I'd just like to ask the commissioners if they think about what they're doing, and if they wish to continue being involved in something of this magnitude, something that kills 88,000 people each year.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Lynch.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Tammy Cruz. I am the new branch manager at Ameris Bank in High Springs. I say new, I've been here 6 months, but I haven't had the opportunity to come and meet you guys. I know several people here. I am a Lake City resident, born and raised there, but I want to say that I love High Springs, absolutely love High Springs. And I also want to invite everyone, as Nancy already did, to the Chamber Mixer on Tuesday night. Ameris Bank will be hosting, and we will be feeding everyone. So I would love to see everyone there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And welcome,
Thank you.
even though it's 6 months. Excuse me. Under new business, item 1, consider resolution 2019-E.
Madam Mayor, Resolution 2019-E, a resolution of the City of High Springs, Florida, relating to the provision of fire services, facilities, and programs in the City of High Springs, Florida, establishing the estimated assessment rate for fire services assessments for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2019, directing the preparation of an assessment roll, authorizing a public hearing, and directing the provision of notice thereof, providing an effective date. The appropriate motion would be to pass the resolution based on reading of title only.
We saw in the paper, the rate's not going up, we're keeping the rate the same.
It is, that is correct.
Okay. Unless anybody else has something to say, I'd say we pass resolution 2019-E.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? It's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 2019-E as read by title. All those in favor? Oh, we got to say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes. Resolution passes. Discussion on municipal law enforcement services. Mayor Marlowe. It's bad when the newspaper people really get to know you that well.
Yeah. I'll do the best I can, but no promises.
I believe he's blushing.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Commission. My name is Jordan Marlowe. I have the honor of serving as the mayor in your sister city of Newberry, just a few miles down the road. And I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come and speak to you tonight. And I know it may seem a little bit like deja vu, like we've been down this road before, but the very first thing I want to address is that what I'm here to ask of you tonight is for your blessing for our staff to enter into a conversation with your staff, which will be a very different conversation than the previous conversation. Since that time, our two cities now touch, and we've had properties that has annexed in, and Newberry and High Springs touch. As most of you are well aware, Newberry has a 3-year contract with Alachua County Sheriff's Office. We're about a little over a year into that contract, and I made a commitment at the last time that we traveled down this road that I would not allow Newberry to get back in a situation where we were within a month or two of the contract running out and there wasn't time for us to have a serious conversation about options. What I'm here to ask of you guys tonight is if you are interested in having a conversation with the city of Newberry about High Springs providing complete police coverage to the city of Newberry. When I was before you a year or so ago, the conversation was simply for SROs, not for police patrolling, community policing, those kinds of things. It was not allowed because our two cities didn't touch. Now that our cities do touch, I think we could have a very different conversation. But the first step in that conversation is coming to you guys to find out if you're willing to enter into that conversation. And I know that as someone who has sat in your seat before, there would be a whole lot of questions that I would have immediately. And I'll try to address just a few of those to hopefully put your mind at ease enough to get a yay vote from you to enter into the conversation. I think that the very first thing that you would want to know is this going to cost the citizens of High Springs any money? And my answer to that would be absolutely not. We would work very closely with your chief to make sure that the citizens of the city of Newberry paid for every bullet, every vest, every car, every uniform, every salary, every hour of overtime, and then what we would offer is some percentage, and that would be where the conversation comes in on top of that to make it worth the city of High Springs' time. And that percentage on top
that would go to whatever this board decided for it to go to. But it is not my intention in any way, shape, or form to ask the citizens of High Springs to spend any money on making sure that the citizens of Newberry have police coverage. I think that I would be curious about the longevity of this contract and what happens to the officers if High Springs hires, let's just use 10 as a round number. I have no idea what the number is. We would be led by Chief DeCourcy on that. But let's say you hire 10 to serve Newberry. What happens to them at the end of the contract? And I want to make it known that we would be committed to making sure that we address that in our conversations, that there is some mechanism for any officers that High Springs brings on. I'm well aware that the last time we had this conversation, it didn't go the way I thought that it was going to go, and it didn't go well. And I've personally expressed to each of you my apologies for that. So I would absolutely understand if this is not a path or a conversation you're interested in having right now. Again, I would simply say I believe that we would be having a different conversation. I believe that there's an opportunity here to benefit both the citizens of High Springs and the citizens of Newberry. And while that previous experience didn't go well, I have to say that my respect for your police officers and your police department did nothing but grow throughout that entire experience. I saw a level of professionalism there that I don't know that I've ever seen in a police department. So I have nothing but respect for what this board has built with your police department and what Chief DeCourcy has done with that police department. And I have no idea where this conversation is going to end up. I can tell you that the city of Newberry is very hopeful that you guys are willing to enter in this conversation. We're also trying to study and research what it takes for Newberry to start its own police department. And we're trying to kick around what would happen if we try to continue the negotiations with Sheriff Darnell. And that one is really the big unanswered question. We can put a price tag on starting our own police department. If you guys give us the say-so that we can enter into a conversation, I think we can get some pretty hard numbers about what that would look like and how it would benefit you and the city of Newberry as well. But those would be the three options that hopefully I can take back to my board and give them, just to give them some options. So I'm here to ask that you release your city manager and your chief to talk to our staff, not committing you to anything other than a conversation, what that would look like. And I hope that the answer is yes, but I absolutely understand if the answer is no. And I'm here to answer any other questions about what we have talked about and sort of conceptualized in this process on our end.
Does anyone have any questions? Chief DeCourcy, do you have any comments?
Madam Mayor, we serve at the will of the commission and Mr. Booth, so whatever direction you ask us to go in, that's what direction we'll go.
So you're willing to what?
I said, tell Chief that's a cop-out.
No pun intended.
Good answer, good answer.
That's a politician answer.
But you would be okay with us, our staff, being able to discuss this?
Yes, ma'am, with your direction and the direction of Mr. Booth.
Okay.
I have to say that you are terribly jealous of our police department because we have the finest police department in all of North Florida.
Yes.
And they constantly and continually show that level of professionalism. I know your citizens would like to have something comparable to what we have. And I understand why you're coming here asking for that, because your citizens would be better served if you could provide them with a different level of service than what they currently have. So.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Commissioner. I tell you that, while we are certainly looking at what it takes to start our own police department, I'm very frightened of that option. It's a daunting task to start a police department. I think it comes down to who you hire to be the chief. And to the question of what happens to the officers that High Springs may bring on board to do this, I think at some point in time, Newberry will have to have its own police department, whether that's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And, what I would encourage my board to do if they have this as an option would be to utilize Chief DeCourcy's experience and skills to help us work through that process. Because that's the part, there aren't many Chief DeCourcy's out there. And so knowing that we have somebody who could do this and do this well would bring an awful lot of peace and security to my conscience on this decision, and I know my citizens' conscience as well.
Okay. Do we need a motion for this?
Probably not. Just direction from the council. Individually.
Okay.
I just real quick, I'll make the same comment I made before. I don't have a problem with it as long as it doesn't detract or take away from the coverage of our city. And it costs us no money. We should make some financial gain off of it.
Absolutely.
I think if you can do that, I do think it would be a lengthy. The time frame, concerns me. I don't know what you're talking. This is all the negotiations. I'm assuming at some point in time, facility-wise, you'd be looking at probably a larger. You'd have to be looking at larger, because now if you're talking adding another 10 or 12 officers, obviously I think in the scheme when you're talking, you need to be looking at a structural change within that also, because I don't know how you're going to put 10 more cops or 12 more cops over there. So I think the facility thing, and I think the time frame is important simply because of SROs. There's a certain amount of training that has to be into it. That's a different frame, and hiring. So I have personally no issue with the dialogue beginning and going and see if everything can be done, and if we can do it and we actually make some money off of it, I don't have an issue with it. So that's.
As part of this, Chief DeCourcy, can you give a guesstimate, as you do this dialogue, as to how much larger of a facility you might need to house this additional staff? Because we do know that your police department building is already not in excellent shape, and this might be a revenue stream that could be utilized to upgrade your structure over there that's probably older than I am. And that's pretty old. So if you could maybe look at that as part of this when you come back to us, like just square foot, not necessarily how much it would cost to build, because there's a number that you can work with, per square foot, but just like realistic number on what kind of a structure you would need, how many square foot, that would help with us making those plans.
Yes, ma'am, that'll be taken into consideration.
Madam Mayor, if I could, I think certainly these would be the exact things that we would work out, but my city would certainly be willing to bear the cost of creating a substation in Newberry if housing if housing is an issue. I think we could put that into the mix of that way. You don't have to expand, but you can still use that revenue source to improve.
Okay, that's a good point, and I'm thinking that perhaps that would be under negotiations as to whether you'd have a substation over there or increase your staff in this building.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Mayor, it'll be conducive to providing a better service by having folks in the community.
Right. Exactly. Right. Any other
We're
comments?
certainly led by Chief DeCourcy. It's going to be, what I'm going to tell my board is Chief DeCourcy is going to tell us what he needs to do the job safely. And then maybe he'll say, here's what you need to do the job safely. And if you want a Cadillac version, this is what that would look like. And there's 2 separate price tags attached to that. But we are not in the business of undercutting our essential services in Newberry. We fund our fire department very well. And we want to have that same kind of relationship with the police department.
Okay.
Another thing I would say, I appreciate you coming much in advance this time.
Yes.
I appreciate that, because it's something like this can happen overnight. And it's going to have to take some planning,
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that. I don't have a problem with it. The managers don't have a problem with it. The chief don't have a problem. There's no harm in discussing it. No problem whatsoever.
That's awesome. Well, I'll get out of your way. I know you got a lot of other work to do unless I can answer any further questions. Thank you so much. On behalf of the city of Newberry, we appreciate you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next item is discussion on city manager hiring process.
Better just talk at one time.
Is that you, Ed? City manager hiring process?
I think that's us, ain't it?
That's you, not me. I'm not allowed to talk.
My biggest issue, this is something we really need to sit down and discuss as a board. I mean, actually discuss it, because I think we're making a huge step at this time, because we really need someone going to take this city a step forward. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, did a wonderful job, but we're going to really need someone to take us to a step further, and it's something we really need to sit down and discuss as a board. I don't know if it's a workshop, but we need to talk. What would you say? This is the person that we want, and these are the three that we want. I think it's something that really needs to be discussed. That I know. See, you know, that's not the, go to the trash. July 31st.
Put a caveat. I said I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you would.
But on a serious note, I think it's something we really need to sit down and discuss. I mean, as a board, really choose someone that's going to be a good fit for High Spring. And what I'm trying to say is, I just don't want to hire a city manager. Right. I want somebody going to fit High Springs.
I agree with that. I think we need to have a workshop specifically for that, to discuss only that.
Only that. Right.
And
only that.
And then we can each express our interests in the 6 applicants that we have at this point. But it's, but I like the idea of a workshop.
A question on that. Now, if we had a workshop, I know you got to go to the public.
That's right.
But can the applicants come to that workshop? So that's the touchy part, because I don't think it'll be fair for them to sit here and hear out. I don't know.
Well, and not everybody would be able to make that workshop, I would think, so it would be kind of unfair for some.
Right. I do think that they're entitled to be there for that.
Right.
There might be a way to, if the preference would be for them not to be there, then, you know, you can tell them that, but you're not necessarily telling them, no, they cannot come.
Right.
It's their choice, and it's open to the public.
I think we got to clarify something here. We're not selecting.
Yeah.
We're talking the process.
Right.
So the process is, forget them. What is the time frame that we're going to do it? I mean, to me, we're looking at a process. Now, if the workshop is going to be to decide the time frame, I mean, I'm looking at this, it says discussions in hiring process, not who we're hiring. I want to know from a time frame. Okay, we've got 6. Okay, at what point are we going to take that down? What number are we going to take it down? How many are we going to have to come in? You have several that are out of state. Can we do the initial interview? We're not going to interview them on the. We're not talking.
No.
To me, this is the process. I think.
Right.
I think you're right, but I think what we need to do here is we're setting up the time frame and the process to do it. At some point in time, one of the agenda items, for lack of a term, will be to cut the 6 down to 3, and then bring the 3 in or do something. So I think we're more looking at what the process is, and then when you get to that point, then you have your discussion on your employees. I see this as a 2-part deal.
But I think if we do a workshop that's talking about how we want to move forward, like Vice Mayor Williams said, you know, what is it that we want for our future city manager to take us? Because then we'll know how to look at these applications in that light.
No issue. I'm with you on that. I'm just saying, but no, they don't need to be there for that.
No.
There will be no interview, there will be no.
There's no interview. This is not solely, and I misunderstood you.
And at
I
that
apologize.
workshop, that's when we did discuss all that, what the process is gonna be. We're
Okay.
gonna eliminate it down to 3, we're gonna eliminate it to
Right.
this.
Okay.
What's
Then
how we gonna do it, we're gonna, some kind of scoring,
Right.
something, whatever we want to.
Okay, I misunderstood you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. So, yeah, we did that before, we had it, we set it down, we were gonna cut it, and then we were gonna do, so I said, I think that's the way to go. I come out of the workshop with a process, so the people would know that this is the time frame, so they know that we've set something in place. And we gotta use the July 30, I mean, we have to have that
Right.
in place, so we have to look at the calendar, and as we schedule these things, it's got to be done, and then you gotta make sure you leave 30 days probably for the person to get here.
Right.
So this isn't something that we have a whole lot of time on.
Right.
So can we set up a workshop for like next Thursday or something? You know, can we, it doesn't necessarily have to be a long workshop, but.
It needs to be an expeditious process, Nancy, and I agree, because we need to have it and then set the calendar as to,
Right.
Jenny,
Well, also, whether you're satisfied with the 6 applicants we submitted to, or if we open it, set the five conditions. So there's that. What you've done in the past, take the view that you have, you break the time, however many, say, you rank the order that you have three. What I had thought about, maybe having each look at all of it, all that applications and submissions, not three to me, the 15th, maybe put it on the 23rd agenda, or
I think we need to sit together, as Vice Mayor Williams said, and we need to discuss what is it we want the vision to be so that we can figure out.
Yeah.
But if we make a mistake, that's going to cost us more time. So I think it's better to do it the right way than to rush into something and be penny wise, pound foolish.
Perhaps we can make it for next Tuesday.
Tuesday's that chamber meeting, Waldog meeting.
Oh, that's right, we can't do it then.
Next Thursday?
I don't think you can wait. Me personally, I think we need to have a calendar process on what we're going to do, with the understanding, if that's the case, that I think you need to be done by the end of June. That gives you July for the applicant to prepare to get here.
Right.
Hopefully a week or so, and maybe Mr. Booth. I mean, I think we're looking at the end of June to have this done, so we're in May, which means, you know.
About Monday.
I'm good with Monday.
Monday night? For workshop?
How's everybody?
I'm good. I'd have to check my calendar.
Your phone doesn't have that on
No,
it.
I can't make my, I have a meeting already.
You have something scheduled Monday? Okay. Not Tuesday, how about Wednesday?
I have a class.
Thursday?
Oh,
Thursday. Next Thursday I can.
okay. What time?
6 o'clock?
6.
Regular meeting time, 6:30? 6 o'clock?
I can do 6 or 6.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Let's do 6, and that way we don't keep them here as late. Can you make
I
that?
got it 3 o'clock, so I should be able to get back by 6.
You want to say 6:30 to be safe?
I don't know if that'll make a difference, but go with it, and let's see what we go.
6:30.
Talk about the process, because at that workshop, we can't vote anyway, right?
No, you can make it special.
No.
I just want to be on the same page.
Well, why don't you?
I agree.
Well, could you do
Absolutely.
Thursdays, could you do Thursdays as a special meeting? We can still discuss, and then if we want to vote on something, we can. We don't have to.
Right, that's a
But
good idea.
But we can. It gives us that option to where we could vote. If you wanted to
Yeah.
do a ranking at that point in time, you could actually turn your ranking. I'm just saying, that way at least you give the option. You're not closing the door.
And you have plenty of time to advertise that and do what you need to do if we do that Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just, I mean, I would just put down that, I mean, I would use the same thing here, discussion of city hiring process. That, to me, that would be one item, right?
We need to set dates.
Want to break, but you have to, you can say, that's consider.
Okay.
Just a discussion.
And we need a timeline.
We can put that together then.
Yeah.
Next week.
Right, pretty much.
That's about it. Turn it into June.
You're right.
So let's, not do, now let's clarify here, because on the deal, so is the workshop going to be what? Because now you're talking about, so, well, special meeting. It just changed, so the special meeting, we're saying here's now, is at the special meeting, we're gonna discuss what we want, and we're also going to vote on the 6th. That's what you were just saying.
You can,
Right,
vote
the 6th.
to accept the 6th, and then come back with your ranking at the next meeting.
I just assume rank them at the special meeting, because I've had them and I've
It
read
is-
them. I'd like to hear people's opinions,
Right, and then
but I'd like to go ahead.
get them ranked at that point.
I'd like to have at Thursday's meeting when we leave, we have them ranked,
And then put it on the virtual.
whatever needs to be
Yeah.
done.
Was it- Good idea.
You know, type of deal. And then at what point do you have to sit in there as, when you rank them, would we at that same time, Jenny, then make the decision that we're going to interview the top 3, the top 2?
That's
Could that-
when you would make that decision.
But we could
You
do
can
that
interview all 6.
at the special meeting, we could do that? I like that. I think if we could come out of that meeting with a ranking, and how many we want to interview, after we discuss it, then I think that puts us in place to start.
Right.
Okay, I'm good with that.
What time are we gonna start? 6 or 6?
6 o'clock?
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, meeting next Thursday at 6 o'clock. Next item is consider approval of chipper repair in the amount of $6,323.26.
Yes, ma'am. A new chipper runs $70,000. This is below 10%. It makes sense to fix it. It certainly is used. Right now, we're burning all the trees and limbs and everything else, but we would really like to get back into the chipping business.
Who's that quote from? I was just curious. I went through the quote. It's a lot of stuff they're doing to it.
It's from the county.
The county
Right, it
motor
is
pool.
the county, yeah.
County does all.
Okay.
And just
Yeah.
so you know, the money that will be used to pay for this is coming from the road and street money.
Absolutely, yeah.
When we budgeted for paving, the paving came well under what we budgeted, so this would fit, even with that, we would still
Right.
be under.
Okay.
Now, how long will it last? 2-3 years? And at that time, they can buy another one. So right now, their needs for next year's budget really calls for them to fix this one, and then we'll buy the one years out.
Okay. So do we need to vote on that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the chipper repair in the amount of $6,323.26.
I'd second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve chipper repair in the amount of $6,323.26. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Did you say aye? The next item is the invoice for the architect for the restrooms at the Citizen.
This is wild space money. We had an architect to design the bathrooms. They are now finished in operation, but we need to pay the architect, and that is over $5,000. Actually, it's $10,000.
850.
Yeah, $10,800.
I just have a silly question. Why did it take them so long to get an invoice to you? that we've already got the building built?
Well, probably because they got a little confused with the RFQ. They thought because they did the RFQ that they didn't need to give an invoice.
Right.
And so we kind of got that all fixed this week.
Okay.
And said you need to.
Because customarily, we usually see this before the building's built, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just was wondering about that, okay.
I was looking at that too, but I was looking at it from a different angle because they backdated it to March the 5th. So I was wondering, why you backdate an invoice?
Well, I think Robert understands now.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you now. So you need a motion here?
Yes.
No more discussion? If there is, then I will make a motion that this bill from Paul Sterling Associates in the amount of $10,850 be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the invoice for $10,850 to be paid to the architect for the restrooms at the Civic Center. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. City Attorney report?
I have nothing to report.
Okay. City Manager?
They will when we deal with Newberry.
Yes.
They are going to be an integral part of that.
Yeah, right.
Right. We are developing as we speak next year's budget, and by next meeting you will receive a portion of that budget, basically the bottom line and also the capital improvements. And then then the following month you'll get all the line items. So in basically looking at it, capital improvements will be less than this year, so we should be in better shape next year. Oh yeah, I have, at the beginning of this budget year, according to the personnel manual, the employees could sell back 50 hours at 80%. And I held that up till this month, till we were sure we were going to have the money, and we do, and so we're executing that. It comes out of everybody's line items, and so there is no change to the budget. This is exactly the way the school board does it.
So what he's saying is there's no additional money that needs to be done. I believe it comes to $21,000. It is coming. He told us to find it in our budget if we wanted to do it.
Right.
So everybody has found it in their budget.
Right. It's already in the personnel manual, so it doesn't take any vote.
Okay.
David in Public Works is going to go on 1 month leave, and then following that, Robert is. We're trying to, not Robert. Right. Rodney is going to go on a 1 month vacation. We're going to start hooking up the homes at that time, and so I'll be out in the field a lot, because our complaints with that project will come at that time, because they'll be taking down fences and moving things off the septic systems, and I can just imagine some of the complaints that are going to go. So I'm going to live out there for a while. I'll certainly come back and sign checks and do all that stuff. And this gets some of our directors down in their vacation, so the new manager coming in doesn't have to worry about not having a public works director because he's off on a vacation. So I'll take care of that. Robert has received the funding for the $400,000 for Memorial Park, and he is working with Christina to come up with a concept. So he got the money first. Usually it's the other way around. So he's got the money, but now we have to come up with a concept of how we're going to use it. We have to look at the trees we're going to save, and he's going to make a parking lot out there, and there's a number of other things he can do with that money. So it is going to be certainly a welcome addition to that part of town. I know I'm getting a lot of great feedback about the park that's out there, the playground, the speed limits, that whole thing. So we're getting a lot of good feedback. Peyton Preserve is moving forward very quickly. They look at about 35 homes out there. Bailey Estate should be finished in a year. So all the other subdivisions also will be finished in about a year. So we are definitely growing.
Nancy brought up, I don't know, a meeting or so ago about Peyton Preserves being advertised in Alachua with an arrow going towards that subdivision up there. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I do, and the reason it is that the individual that's building it has an issue with Alachua, so it was a way of, I guess, stabbing them or something.
Oh, okay.
So it was.
Now it's funny.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay.
And I have just recently, in the last day or so, received a developer wants to look at the peanut plant. He apparently saw an article in the paper, but it is not for growing agricultural. It is for putting homes and some kind of a recreational facility.
Okay.
So you never know.
Never know.
But that's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Levin?
I have a whole bunch of things. The High Springs Community School Band is going to be out at St. James Paul Park May 19th, not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, along with the Gainesville Big Band at 2 o'clock. So I'm not sure, this isn't through Music in the Park, but it's been sponsored by the TDC board. So it should be a really exciting opportunity for our kids to be with this Gainesville Big Band. So that's 2 o'clock. It must be over there at the gazebo at James Paul Park is what it says. So he doesn't know anything about it.
I don't know a thing about it.
Well, it's in the
However,
paper, so it's real, okay?
It is real. I will certainly advertise it.
Okay.
And we'll get banners out. And, I'm sorry, we're putting up banners.
Now, I know we have the finest police department in the whole state, but we also got coverage on the Our Town magazine for our fire department, and we got a wonderful article written inside. So beyond 4 million Facebook likes, we have gotten some really good press for our town because of the actions of 2 of our firefighters, which is... It's what they do. It's not just those 2. That's the way that our police and our fire department is. So I had an experience with Public Works over the weekend that was absolutely phenomenal. Whoever the answering services that we're using, when you have a grinder pump that's seeping out, they take care of it immediately. They were professional. They were wonderful. I don't know who that lady was, but she was great. Jason and Luke came out twice and dealt with my problem. And did it in such a professional and pleasant manner. So our Public Works Department, I mean, this poor kid was not having a good night. Great Outdoors kept calling him. He had to leave there and go back and forth. And he was so pleasant. So I am amazed. TDC, I was at the TDC meeting this week. One of the highest hits that they had on their website for the month of April was High Springs Pioneer Days. And I told them what a good turnout that we had. And they said, the things in High Springs are getting more hits than any other area of the county beyond Gainesville. So, and then our Wild Dogs meeting on Tuesday night at 7 p.m., which I announced at the previous meeting. Okay?
That's it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the fire department, police department, city of High Springs, for everything that they did to help the chamber get through Pioneer Day. This was the best Pioneer Day event that we have had in a long, long time. I made a point to walk through one half of the vendors that was there to check to see how things was going. Did they have any ideas of what we could do to improve it, what they thought of the weekend, and everybody that was there were more than pleased with how things has gone. There were several there that asked me for an application for next year, right on the spot.
gracious.
Right on the spot. So we're going to make it a point to get those applications updated and out so that those vendors that are interested can get their hands on them real early. So thank you to everybody that worked with that. It was a very, very good turnout. And second thing, I've had a couple of visitors come in, and I have also gotten several email messages through the chamber from the Census Bureau. They're doing the 2020 census. Yes. And according to the email that I've gotten, they say they will have 1,000 jobs in Alachua County. And a lot of them will be here in the city of High Springs. This year, they are paying $14 to enumerators as a starting salary. So that's the money that I think some of our people could use if you're interested. The only requirement that's listed in this email is that you must be at least 18 years old. You must have a valid Social Security number, and of course you must be a U.S. citizen. That's it. They are offering benefits such as flexible hours. You get paid on a weekly basis. They're providing training for you. So if you're interested, it's simply say go out to website 2020census.gov/jobs. Again, 2020censusus.gov/jobs. You can find your application out there, and you can submit it, and they will be considered. Okay, that's it for me.
Oh, come on, you've got to come up with something.
Well, I mean, I got dissed on my teaching time earlier, so I don't know how to respond. No, I'm anxious, and I just want to and say very much and thank the colleagues up here. I'm anxious for the next step, and I think Mr. Williams basically said it, the next step we're going to take as we move on from Ed. And I'm excited to be able to do it with a group of people that are here. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's an exciting time, and I think we got some really good things going on. So I just simply want to thank each of you guys and the city staff and everybody, because you usually only hear when things go bad. You don't see the good things going, and so I appreciate everything.
I would say, you gotta give kudos to the crossing guard. That young lady, she worked, she was handling that traffic.
Yes, she was.
I want to give kudos to that young lady. She did a wonderful job.
Absolutely.
Without a whistle. But she did a wonderful job. So she let her know she did a wonderful job. But when y'all get high in crossing guard, y'all get hella trained. That's all
I have a letter from the city of Williston. On June 8th, between the hours of 10 and 2, they will be celebrating the 90th year of incorporation of their city. In addition, they will be hosting an open house to show off our new city hall. We would like to extend an invitation to you and your city commission to join us in this celebration. If anybody needs information on this, I'd be glad to send it to them. 90 years.
Yeah. No, not that old.
And I do have some information from the census. A woman came from Tallahassee at the North Florida Regional Planning Council and went into detail about the census. And if we need assistance in setting it up, they would be glad to help us. I'll turn this over to you, Jenny. They really do, and they're paying their staff so that hopefully they'll be able to get some real information, get the correct information. So I will turn this over to you. Also, we are very excited about our Memorial Park addition, and we at Edgemoor, I'm speaking. And we love the signs. It's 25 miles per hour, except for there in the playground, which is 15 miles per hour. I wondered if we could get a playground sign.
Sure.
that would, for those who don't notice the playground, that would signify why we dropped down to 15 miles per hour.
We'll order one.
Okay? And, except that you're going to have to chair the next meeting. I can't speak plainly enough. The vice mayor is going to do that. I'm done. Do I hear a motion?
You got a motion?
So be it. Thank you, everyone.